What happens when the genetic blueprint malfunctions or when a core part of the body is suddenly disconnected? From feet that take over the function of knee joints to perfectly efficient mobility systems without the need for hands, these are not just stories of determination, but medical cases that challenge every conventional law of physics. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel so you can explore the next system mysteries with us. Do you believe in the extreme adaptability of the human body? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's begin right now. Macy Curran is not simply a tall girl. She is a living study of how the human skeletal framework can reach its physical limits. With legs measuring more than 135 centimeters accounting for up to 60% of her total height, Macy has broken the traditional rules of the golden ratio. This creates a biological engineering puzzle, how the circulatory system pushes blood over a much longer distance from the heart to the feet, and how the spine can maintain balance when the body's center of gravity is positioned completely differently from that of an average person. In terms of adaptation, Mackie's life is a series of efforts to adjust the systems around her, which were designed for people of average height. From having custom-made clothing to modifying her sitting posture in cars or airplanes, every daily activity becomes a spatial challenge. From an engineering perspective, we see an extraordinary effort by the muscular system to keep an oversized skeletal frame stable, preventing injuries caused by gravitational pressure acting on long joints. Macy Curran did not hide away but actively hacked stereotypes to turn her record-breaking legs into a unique brand advantage on digital platforms. This is not just a story about height, but a lesson in redefining personal aesthetic systems in the digital era. Are you ready to turn your greatest difference into your most powerful weapon the way Mackie did? Leave a comment so we can discuss it together. Don't forget to like, share, and give us a subscribe to support the next decoding journeys. John Allaire was once a typical example of metabolic system collapse when his body weight reached 245 kilograms. In that state, every internal organ from the heart and liver to the lungs had to operate at more than 200% capacity just to maintain basic survival indicators. From a biological analysis perspective, his body at that time resembled a machine overheating under extreme load, where excess fat layers were no longer merely stored energy, but had become an invasive system compressing blood vessels and deforming the skeletal structure under immense pressure. Determined to change for love, John launched a large-scale restructuring campaign by adopting an extremely strict calorie deficit diet and high-intensity training. This was not simply about losing weight, but a complete overhaul of the hormone system and the brain's chemical responses. The process helped him eliminate more than 136 kilograms of excess fat, an unimaginable number within normal biological limits, transforming him from someone who struggled with basic movement into a man capable of performing high-intensity physical workouts. However, the most significant difference in John's story lies in the post-weight loss phase, the adaptation of the skin. When fat tissue disappears too quickly, the human skin system, although elastic but limited, cannot shrink back in time, leaving behind massive layers of excess skin. Surgical removal of dozens of kilograms of excess skin became the final step in this metamorphosis. John's story is a lesson in how remarkably the human body system can recover when provided with the right strategy and iron discipline. Arya Parmana was once known to the world by an unwanted nickname, the heaviest boy in the world at the age of 10, weighing 192 kilograms. From a systems analysis perspective, this was a severe malfunction in the brain's satiety signaling mechanism, leading to food consumption many times greater than what a child actually needed. Arya's digestive system had expanded to extreme limits, creating a pathological loop. The more he ate, the larger his stomach became, and the stronger his hunger signals grew, seriously threatening his survival. A turning point occurred when medicine intervened with gastric bypass surgery, an aggressive but necessary intervention into the system's structure. By reducing the size of the stomach pouch, doctors forced the digestive system to send full signals to the brain much earlier. The result was a rapid drop in weight, allowing Arya for the first time to move, run, and participate in physical activities. This stands as proof that when natural methods fail, altering the physical structure of the body can save a life. Arya is now proof of the successful reconstruction of a biological system through the combination of medicine and personal determination. The greatest difference lies not only in his weight, but in a complete transformation of awareness and a sustainable lifestyle. In your opinion, in this extreme physical overhaul, is self-discipline or medical technology the decisive factor? Share your perspective below, and don't forget to hit like, share, and leave a subscribe to support us. Gabby Schul's story is one of the most classic examples of using biomedical engineering to overcome adversity. After losing part of her leg due to bone cancer instead of accepting a limited life, she underwent rotation-plasty surgery. In this procedure, the doctors took a bold step, rotating her foot 180 degrees and attaching it to the remaining thigh. The goal was to turn the ankle joint into a functional knee joint, allowing Gabby to use a prosthetic limb more effectively than with any traditional method. From a nervous system analysis perspective, this presented a challenge to the brain. It took a long time for the neural signals to learn how to control a foot in a completely new way, flexing the ankle to generate the movement of a knee. Gabby's difference lies in the adaptability of her sensory motor system. She not only regained the ability to walk, but could also perform complex ballet movements, something once considered impossible for amputees. The reversed foot became a perfect drive mechanism for the modern prosthetic limb system. Gabby Schul is now a symbol of how people are not defined by what they lose, but by how they reconstruct what remains. In medical investigation videos, her case is often presented as a hypothesis about the future of human-machine hybrid cyborgs. Her difference lies in the seamless combination of iron will and remarkable advances in orthopedic surgery, creating a new mobility system that is stronger and more flexible than originally expected. Cassidy Hooper was born with a rare congenital structural deficiency. She had no nose or eyeballs from birth. This posed an extremely difficult challenge for reconstructive surgeons, as they did not simply need to repair but had to build an entire respiratory and aesthetic system from scratch. From an analytical perspective, Cassidy's face became a medical construction site that lasted for more than a decade, where each surgery was a foundational step in placing layers of tissue, cartilage, and skin to form a human appearance. The technical difference in Cassidy's case lies in using parts of her own body as building materials. Doctors took cartilage from her ribs and skin from her forehead to sculpt a complete nose. The vascular system was carefully calculated to ensure that the new tissues could survive and integrate into her face. This was not simply cosmetic surgery, but an intervention into biological structure to restore basic functions and bring confidence to an individual with severe defects. After enduring dozens of painful surgeries, Cassidy now has a complete face and an inspiring life. Her difference lies in her unshakable optimism, which has helped her overcome the curious stares of society. Through the lens of storytelling, Cassidy stands as proof that when a physical system is incomplete, the power of determination and the progress of science can work together to create a miracle, turning the unimaginable into a living reality. Isabel Wheel is living proof of the brain's ability to reprogram the motor system after a severe medical crisis. At just 7 years old, she developed acute meningitis that led to life-threatening sepsis. To save her life, doctors were forced to amputate all 4 of her limbs. From a biological perspective, Isabel's body had to almost completely reboot its motor system. Without arms and legs, she had to relearn how to maintain balance, move, and control her body. What seemed like the end of all mobility became the starting point of an extraordinary journey of adaptation. What makes Isabel remarkable is that she conquered trampoline gymnastics, a sport that demands precise coordination of the vestibular system and exceptional control of the body's center of gravity. After losing all 4 limbs, her body's center of gravity changed completely, forcing the brain to recalculate every neural signal to maintain balance. Isabel did not just train to move, she learned how to jump and rotate in midair. She turned the remaining parts of her body into an efficient source of momentum. Her success shows that the human nervous system can create entirely new pathways for movement. Isabel is now a prominent content creator, turning prosthetic technology into a perfect extension of her body. Instead of seeing it as a limitation, she has optimized assistive devices to break through ordinary mobility barriers. In your opinion, could future technology help humans go far beyond their natural biological limits? Share your perspective below. Don't forget to hit like, share, and give us a subscribe to support the next Decoding Cases. Charlotte Cleverly Bisman, often called Miraculous Baby Charlotte, is a remarkable medical case of survival after the circulatory system was severely attacked. When she was only a few months old, she contracted meningococcal bacteria, a dangerous pathogen capable of destroying peripheral blood vessels in a very short time. To save her life, doctors were forced to amputate both arms and both legs. Even so, vital organs such as her heart and brain were preserved. Charlotte became one of the youngest children in New Zealand to survive such a devastating medical crisis. A unique aspect of Charlotte's journey is growing up alongside medical assistive devices. From a very young age, her body had to learn how to develop without natural limbs. At the same time, she had to become familiar with using prosthetics early in life. For orthopedic doctors, combining assistive technology with a rapidly growing body is a major challenge. Charlotte has undergone many surgeries and device adjustments to ensure her prosthetics always match her height, weight, and the changes in her body at each stage of development. Charlotte's story does not end with her personal survival journey, but has also created a broader impact on the community. Her image has been used in several campaigns to raise awareness about meningitis vaccination. As a result, Charlotte's story has encouraged many families to vaccinate their children, helping reduce the risk of this dangerous disease. From a painful personal tragedy, her journey has become a symbol of the power of preventive medicine and the importance of protecting public health. Linda Bannon was born with Holt-Oram syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that caused her body not to develop arms while she was still in the womb. Instead of seeing it as a defect, Linda adapted by transferring almost all the functions of her hands to her feet. From a biomechanics perspective, this represents an extremely complex retraining process of the nervous system. Toes that normally only assist with balance now perform delicate tasks, such as writing, cooking, and using many everyday objects with remarkable precision. What is remarkable about Linda is her ability to maintain an independent life in a world designed for people with hands. She created her own living system where every item in her home is arranged to suit the range of motion of her feet. Neurologically, the areas of her brain responsible for controlling foot movement developed to be more flexible and precise than usual. As a result, Linda can perform tasks that require a high level of precision. Her story shows that the human body has an astonishing ability to compensate for functions when adapting to congenital limitations. Not only adapting for herself, Linda has also passed on this confidence and life skill to her son, who was born with the same syndrome. Her family has turned a genetic defect into a proactive and positive lifestyle. In that environment, physical differences are not seen as barriers, but as motivation to create new ways of movement. Through Linda's story, we see that human ability is not defined solely by physical structure, but also by the capacity to adapt, learn, and overcome limits that once seemed impossible. Jeffrey Ortega faces Proteus syndrome, an extremely rare genetic condition that causes bones, skin, and many tissues in the body to grow excessively and asymmetrically. From a biological perspective, his body resembles a growth system with a control malfunction. Jeffrey's left foot has swollen to several times its normal size and continues to deform over time. This abnormal growth causes prolonged pain and places immense pressure on his skeletal structure as well as his cardiovascular system, forcing his entire body to adapt in order to maintain even minimal mobility. A major turning point in Jeffrey's life came when he voluntarily requested surgery to remove the deformed foot. While medicine usually tries to preserve every part of the body, Jeffrey looked at the problem from a different perspective. He believed that removing the severely damaged part of his body could allow the rest to function more stably. This decision was like a necessary reset to end the constant pain. It was a difficult choice requiring careful consideration between losing a part of the body and the chance to improve his quality of life. Jeffrey's journey raises many important questions about how medicine intervenes in rare genetic diseases. What stands out about him is the courage to face reality and find the solution that best suits his own situation. This story reflects the conflict between the desire to preserve the body and the need to live a life with less pain. Jeffrey's decision also opens a discussion about a patient's right to make decisions about their own body. Sometimes accepting a loss becomes the first step toward a freer life. Harrowing is a prominent figure in challenging norms surrounding gender and aesthetics. She has polycystic ovary syndrome (PCOS), a hormonal disorder that causes the body to produce unusually high levels of male hormones. As a result, Harrowing began growing a thick beard during her teenage years. Biologically, this is a hormonal imbalance that directly affects physical characteristics. However, it also placed her in a prolonged psychological struggle as her appearance did not align with traditional social standards for women. A major turning point in Harrowing's life came when she decided to stop hiding her difference. Instead of continuing to remove her facial hair to conform to conventional beauty standards, she chose to keep her beard as part of her personal identity and her religious belief in Sikhism. From a sociological perspective, this decision directly challenged traditional definitions of female beauty. Harrowing turned what once made her feel insecure into a symbol of confidence. She shows that aesthetic standards are not fixed rules, but can be redefined. Harrowing has turned a hormonal condition into a unique brand strength, forcing the world to redefine aesthetic standards. Her journey proves that difference is not a weakness, but the sharpest weapon for asserting personal identity within a system full of prejudice. Would you be willing to keep an unusual trait on your body to create a unique identity like Harrowing? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit like, share, and give us a subscribe to support the next decoding stories. Sarah Todd Hammer is a typical example of how the motor system can be suddenly disrupted by transverse myelitis. This disease causes inflammation of the spinal cord, interrupting the neural signals between the brain and the body. From a technical perspective, it resembles a failure in the spinal cord's neural transmission line. Once a promising ballet dancer, Sarah had to face the reality when her legs no longer responded to her will. This sudden change forced her to completely restructure the way she lived and interacted with the world around her. However, what makes Sarah's story remarkable is her ability to redirect her creative energy. When physical movement was no longer her primary form of expression, she found strength in language and thought. Sarah became an author and activist, using writing to share her experiences after developing the illness. Her works not only describe the difficulties, but also analyze the process of mental adaptation. Through this, Sarah proves that when one ability is limited, people can still develop other strengths even more powerfully. Today, Sarah Todd Hammer is regarded as a symbol of redefining human ability in both art and life. She shows that the spirit of a dancer does not exist only in the legs, but also in discipline, rhythm, and the strength of the mind. As a speaker and screenwriter, Sarah has built a support network that helps her continue developing her career. Her story offers a profound perspective on how people maintain meaning in life when important physical abilities change permanently. Carrie Velasquez faces osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone disease, a condition in which the skeletal system severely lacks collagen, causing bones to become fragile and break as easily as crystal. From a systems analysis perspective, her body is a structure that requires the highest level of maintenance and protection, where even minor physical forces from the environment can trigger a cascading failure in the support system. This creates an extreme challenge for mobility and performing basic daily activities, forcing her to develop a survival strategy based on maximum caution. Carrie's difference lies in how she has turned her wheelchair into a professional mobile workstation. As a talented makeup artist, she has optimized every movement of her hands to perform techniques that require meticulous precision and accuracy. From a biomechanical analysis perspective, Carrie has maximized the use of the most stable parts of her body to compensate for the fragility of her skeletal system. She does not see her body as a faulty system, but as a unique structure that requires its own operating methods to achieve the highest level of performance in the beauty industry. Through social media platforms, Carrie has built a powerful communication system to break stereotypes about people with disabilities. Her difference lies in her radiant confidence and her ability to turn physical limitations into a unique personal style. From an investigative perspective, Carrie's story is a lesson in optimizing the software business mindset and artistic skills to rise above the limitations of the hardware, the skeletal structure. She proves that creativity has no limits, even when it exists within the most fragile physical framework. Mackenzie Trush is an example of navigating complex medical systems when facing rare conditions that affect development and mobility. From an analytical perspective, her life is a series of debugging efforts by medical experts trying to identify the root cause of a wide range of symptoms. Living with unclear diagnoses requires an extremely detailed personal health data management system where every reaction of the body is recorded in order to search for patterns or the most suitable intervention solution. Mackenzie's difference lies in her persistent dedication to long-term physical therapy routines. She treats daily training as a process of reprogramming the muscular and nervous systems to maintain as much mobility as possible. From a biological analysis perspective, this is a battle against natural degeneration, where personal determination acts as the primary engine, keeping the system from stagnating. Mackenzie has turned the recovery process into a lifestyle, proving that the stability of a system can sometimes be more important than sudden breakthroughs. Within the community of people living with rare diseases, Mackenzie serves as a connecting node, sharing practical experiences about interacting with social and medical support systems. Her difference lies in her ability to transform dry medical data into inspiring stories, helping others better understand the value of patience. Through the lens of storytelling, Mackenzie's journey demonstrates that human survival and growth depend greatly on the ability to maintain strong connections between individuals and the specialized support systems around them. Karina Rodini faces an extremely serious medical challenge with neurofibromatosis type 1, a genetic disorder that causes nerve tumors to grow uncontrollably on the body. In her case, the disease created a massive tumor on her leg, weighing nearly 30 kilograms. This tumor deformed her body and placed immense pressure on her circulatory system's skeletal structure and mobility. From a biological perspective, this is the result of cells losing the signal to stop dividing, forcing the body to struggle to adapt to an increasingly heavy physical structure. What makes Karina's story remarkable is the fact that many traditional surgical methods cannot fully resolve her condition. The tumor has a complex network of blood vessels, making complete removal a major risk to her life. As a result, Karina must live in a fragile balance between controlling the disease and protecting her overall health. She has learned to adapt to her body while continuing to monitor new treatment methods. Karina's case also reflects the limits that modern medicine still faces. Despite enduring great pain and social stigma, Karina remains resilient and refuses to lose hope. She shares her story to raise awareness about rare diseases and encourage empathy from the community. Her journey is not only a personal battle but also contributes to advancing medical research on genetic disorders. Through Karina's story, many people realize that determination and willpower can help individuals overcome challenges that once seemed impossible. She has become a symbol of hope and inner strength. At the end of decoding these 14 cases, we see that the human body is not a fixed machine, but an open system that constantly seeks ways to repair itself and adapt to extreme conditions. Whether through the intervention of modern medicine or the instinct for survival, from within each story is proof that when the genetic blueprint is challenged, human will can find new pathways of operation to preserve life. If you enjoy these in-depth analyses of medical phenomena and biological hypotheses, please hit like to support the team and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming investigations. Don't forget to leave a comment about the case that changed your perspective the most. Your opinion is valuable data for us to discuss in future videos.